to AR-77. Just a quick video for you this time, just based on something that's just happened to me. I was responding to a comment or a question from one of you lovely folk about 1911s, and as such I had the Remington out, old slab sides as they sometimes call them, and I was doing a bit of shooting. I put 3 magazines worth through it. I should point out that I was shooting indoors because of the weather in the UK. It was pretty windy today, so I was shooting indoors with my target, my swinging duck target. I was having a lot of fun. I'd been through about 3 magazines and I could tell that the feet per second were dropping. I knew that I didn't have much left to go on that one CO2 canister, so I thought I'll put another magazine through it. That'll be the 4th magazine, and I thought in all likeliness I'll get halfway through the magazine and the CO2 will purge and that'll be it, and I'll probably just drop the rest of the BBs out. So as I was about to I was reloading my 4th magazine, or loading my 4th magazine, and the pistol was just sat next to me, and it was obviously it had locked back after the last shot, but I'll just show you kind of how it looked. Yeah, it locked back, but then as I looked at it, it kind of looked like that. Obviously the hammer was down, but it kind of looked, I can't show you with it down, it kind of looked like that, and the hammer was resting against it. And I just noticed I couldn't see the full dot there, the full safety dot. So I racked the slide a couple of times and still it returned to that position, kind of just protruding, just like a millimetre or two at the back there, and I couldn't figure out what it was. So I thought maybe I've got a jam or something like that. I thought I'll just take it apart, simple enough to do, and see what the crack is. Took it apart, and because I've been shooting indoors, I decided to use these BBs, these low ricochet excite BBs. I've used them before and I've never had a problem with them. I thought it makes sense to use these indoors because as much as I don't mind being hit by the odd BB ricocheting back at me, it's kind of par for the course when you're shooting these pistols. But I didn't want a full session being pelted like I was being pebble dashed. So I used those ones. I usually use the Umarex steel BBs. Can't go far wrong with them. Pretty good quality. But I didn't. I used these. And what I discovered when I took the pistol apart was that as I looked down the sort of internal barrel, there was one of the BBs. They look like that when they're intact. Not focus. When they're intact, they look like that. But there was one of those down there, but it had kind of lost its integrity. It was all kind of crunched and crumpled up, just stuck in there. It looked almost like, you know, when you get if you've shot a lead pellet, if you've got a pellet pistol or pellet rifle, and they crumple when they impact, it almost looked like it had crumpled, and it was jamming the barrel. So I used the tool that I have, which is inside of a biro, and I pushed it back kind of that way out of the barrel. It's not a rifled barrel, so it's not going to make a massive difference. And that was me. Put the gun back together, but it still wasn't sitting true. The slide still wasn't sitting true. So I looked at it again, and what I noticed was that in the slide here, you've obviously got this piece here, and the CO2 comes up through the magazine, through there and through here, and shoots your BB out of the down the barrel of the pistol. But what happened is the BB that was in here had obviously slammed up against the back of the one that was in here, so that had become damaged, that BB, and there was a BB sort of stuck. There goes my camera, right here, only protruding by about a millimetre, by about the same distance that the slide was sticking back. So it took me about 3 minutes trying to figure out what exactly I could get in there to try and pry it out before common sense kicked in. And I thought, well, that's completely idiotic. Just put some CO2 in a mag without any BBs and shoot the little sucker right out of there. So I did that. No harm, no foul. It was all good, and the gun is working perfectly now. But I just thought I'd mention it as a bit of a cautionary tale, because it happened to me, so it could happen to you. I don't know if it's a bad batch or what, or if these are a bit I don't know. I don't want to talk about the quality of them because they were all right up to that point. But there is a chance they can get stuck in your in your barrel, as it did to me today. And if they do get stuck, they can jam you up back there as well. So it's not a particularly technical fix. It didn't take me long to rectify, but I just thought I'd mention it. And from now on, although I'm not being paid to say this, I'll probably stick with these ones. Not necessarily Umarex ones, just make sure that they're just the steel BB ones and not kind of, I think these are probably kind of coated in something. They're probably softer inside and then coated, I guess. But there you go. I got a BB jammed and then I unjammed it, is the short version of that. Alright, cheers. Hope that was helpful. Hope you don't find yourself in the same position, but if you do, you know what to do now. Just shoot a bit of air through it and it should clear it. Right, bye.